Police making that admission that they believe they made the wrong decision in not breaching that door immediately. It was an on-scene commander that said they needed more tactical equipment to go in. That decision made despite children in those rooms making 911 calls for help. What you didn't hear in that cell phone video were parents begging police for gear so they could go into the school themselves. We also learned that the shooter was shooting at police through the walls here at this school. They did not return fire because they didn't know if their gunfire would hit children still inside. Well, the owner says this happened so fast. This is one of the trucks that were hit. Video shows a man crawling under this truck and sawing off the catalytic converter. Not much has changed. This road, the Palmetto Expressway, still closed in both directions because of protesters. Look at the massive amount of people that are here. I briefly spoke to the family tonight. They are devastated. It's been a little more than 24 hours since that crash happened just right there. Those bicycle riders were heading up to the bridge when they were hit. Tonight, the call for more safety measures continues for this stretch of road. Antonio Brown was so close to about $1 million in incentives, but on Sunday's game, he had a sideline freak out. He's now no longer a part of the team.
Bridgette, before you go, there were so many questions, people asking where was the school resource officer, and now we're learning that the school resource officer was not on school grounds at the time.
And there was a lot of confusion surrounding that school resource officer because initially we were told that there was an officer that confronted this suspect. And then we were told there was no school resource officer on campus and that this shooter entered the school unobstructed. We learned today that school resource officer actually heard the 911 call of the shooting situation and came back to the school. So that is under investigation as to why he was not on campus. Police say this all started as a 911 call that came in a few hours ago. Police do confirm that 2 children were found dead. A police source says that these children were tied up in the home. We are focused on that home there. It is an apartment building. This is happening on Northeast 75th Street. Thomas Raynard James has spent the last 32 years of his life in prison.
It's like living a nightmare. And for the last 30-some years, I've been trying to wake up from it.
He was 23 when he was arrested and convicted for the murder of Francis McKinnon in 1990. The murder happened when 2 men burst into McKinnon's Coconut Grove apartment to rob the place. Eventually, McKinnon was shot. Soon, anonymous tips began pouring in that a Thomas James and a man nicknamed Dog Williams was responsible for the murder. 7 months later, police arrested Thomas James on an unrelated warrant before charging him with murder. James had been in trouble before, dabbling in drug sales, but in this case, he professed his innocence from the beginning. You will, till the end of time, say you are an innocent man.
Yeah, the facts say I'm innocent. Not only I say it, the facts say it. So, yeah. I go to my grave with that.
According to James and his lawyer, Natalie Figures, the facts are this is a case of mistaken identity.
I'm 1,000% sure that my client is innocent.
McKinnon's stepdaughter, who was also in the apartment during the robbery, identified James in a lineup. During James' trial, she was the state's star witness.
Her testimony, she explained vividly that she saw my client aim at her father and shoot her father in the head.
Years into James' incarceration, he would make a shocking discovery. There's another Thomas James from Miami who goes by Tommy with strikingly similar features. He was known to run with Dog Williams, but he had a solid alibi the night of the robbery. Tommy James was already in jail that night.
The person that they was referring to was somebody that had the same name as me.
Figures and James say witnesses thought Tommy was the other suspect. After finding out he was in jail, they came across Thomas Raynard James, eventually charging him with murder. Now, more than 30 years into his life sentence, the state attorney's office Justice Project reopened James' case. And that star witness, Figures says she plans to issue a news statement that James was not the person who killed her stepfather.
She wants to do the right thing and not take this to her grave because she knows she made a mistake.
James is being housed at this prison facility in Doral while his case is under review. But his lawyer says the evidence in this was shaky from the start. There's no DNA evidence linking James to the crime scene, and the 9 prints lifted don't match him either. He's adamant police have the wrong guy. Are you a killer?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Through 32 years, his family has stood by him, even holding rallies to drum up support.
Justice for James!
James' cousin, Sante Thompson.
It hurts to know that his life has been taken away ever since he was 23 years old, and he's still in there.
He says with the state attorney's office giving his case a new look, he is cautiously optimistic he will get out.
This is the closest I got. I can actually smell it. I can actually smell it.
Caught on camera, a car being hauled by a truck smashes right into an overpass. We have to warn you, it may be hard to watch. Watch this video here sent in by a Local 10 viewer. The car appears to be hoisted up too high and comes crashing down on State Road 84 there. Wow. A dangerous day on the water in Hollover Inlet. Police responding to reports of a man who fell off a boat at a sandbar. We're told the victim was seriously hurt and may even be paralyzed. He was airlifted to the hospital.